And welcome back, everyone. Please welcome our next presenter. We have CBD of Denver. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol CBDD. It is a full-line CBD and hemp oil company and a producer and distributor of cannabis and CBD products in Switzerland, Europe, and the U.S. Please welcome its CEO, Marcel Gama. Welcome, Marcel.
Thank you very much for being with you. First of all, I would like to thank you, Charles, Ryan, and team for putting this event together, and very much appreciate having the opportunity to participate. Thank you also to the audience for sharing some time with me today. As already mentioned, my name is Marcel Gama, President and CEO of CBD of Denver. We are a publicly traded company trading on OTC market under the ticker of CBDD. As my presentation will contain some forward-looking statements, please refer to this page on the PowerPoint. I'm proud to share today with you our vision, our goals, and to speak about the strengths of our team. But first, I would like to show you our corporate video, giving you some overview about our Swiss companies here in Europe.
In 2017, in Switzerland and most European countries, CBD officially got legalized by the government. In the following years, the market increased up to 10 billion euros as of today. It is expected that the market will increase year over year up to 18 billion by 2025. My name is Marcel Gama and I am the CEO and Chairman of Swiss Industry Ventures. We are a Swiss investment company building and developing private equity investment platforms, and we currently are developing one in the area of CBD business named Rockflower Group. The Swiss CBD market currently offers great opportunities to buy existing, profitable, but undervalued business at a very attractive price. We integrate these companies in our existing setup and develop them extensively by expanding customer base and sale and bringing them into new markets. Additionally, these acquisitions follow the guideline to develop the whole value chain, from seed to customer, for the CBD business in Switzerland and Europe. We have a very professional and diverse team of experts from different areas: CBD business, finance, operations and sales. Our highly motivated and engaged team is key to become one of the top players in the CBD business in Switzerland and Europe.
My name is Pascal and I'm the Managing Director Sales of Rockflowers Group and board member of Swiss Industry Ventures.
My name is Maxim, head of the production here at Rockflower. I'm in charge of the quality for our flowers.
The most common is a harlequin, for example. I have a nugget in my hand. You see the crystals. The smell is amazing.
In the blooming stage, we treat our plants with natural nutrition and the best light condition. To not hurt the plants and achieve the best flavors and quality, we only harvest our buds by hand.
Rockflower Group has become one of the leading group of companies in the Swiss CBD market. We were able to increase our revenues in 2020 from Q3 to Q4 by more than 40%. That's about $8.5 million. We expect to continue on this level and have budgeted a revenue of 22 million for 21 and are very optimistic to achieve or even exceed.
The Swiss and European market is still in its infancy stage and about 10 to 15 years behind the North American market. Given the roadmap, we will not make the same mistakes again. The Swiss market is expected to increase exponentially in the coming years. We expect a continuous year-over-year growth of 20 to 25% in the coming years.
So you find us on the internet and you find us also on Instagram.
As already mentioned in our video, our group is mainly focusing on the Swiss and European market with a population of more than 700 million people, double the size of the US market. We have made good progress again in the past months, and I'm very excited to report that we recently have announced over $26 million in revenue for the trailing 12 months ended by May 2021. I would especially like to mention our great team as they achieved these results in a very difficult time. As you all know, much of our growth occurred under COVID lockdowns and massive restrictions for the business in general, especially also here in Europe. Let me say a few words about our achievements. We feel we did these in two ways. We are currently active in over 15 countries in Europe, and we have established customer base in these countries. We are continuously seeking to expand our presence and doing regular analysis of the market and trends to identify the best targets for our expansion. Additionally, we have been executing on a creative acquisition strategy geared to drive CBD of Denver to become one of the world's largest and most profitable global CBD and cannabis companies. We have been able to execute on our strategy because of our approach is different than some of the big names you know out there. The talents of our acquisition team are highlighted. Our ability to differentiate between making an acquisition for the sake of growth to large revenues versus acquiring a company that increases our global footprint, generates cost savings and synergies, and finally seeks to bring growth to our bottom and top lines. Any acquisition done by CBD of Denver will highly be vetted by our team and be designed to add to our company's already strong portfolio of products and services, and continuously help CBD of Denver refine and execute on our cash flow positive centric business model. At CBD of Denver, we don't grow for sake of growth. We grow for the benefit of our shareholders and investors. CBD of Denver's culture aims to always be an under-promise, over-deliver organization, and we are proud having reported also for May more than almost $3 million in revenue, which is more than 20% growth compared to the previous months. Looking on this figure, this puts us well ahead over our 2021 revenue guidance of $22 million. And I'm very proud of our sales and acquisition team for making this happen, large in part during the COVID lockdown, as already mentioned earlier. I would like to spend for a few more minutes on the PowerPoint presentation and open the floor for some questions from the audience after that. Some words about our growth strategy. We intend to execute our strategy of finding additional accretive acquisitions, investing in our strong sales force, and we are currently focusing on the high growth market in Europe. As already mentioned, with a population of 406 million, which is double the US market. We are a Swiss-based company and proud about this, grow and produce highest quality Swiss products, and also proud about Switzerland's long heritage using CBD to help people. The recent regulation in Europe, the reclassification of cannabis as a non-narcotic by the UN, have opened the door wide to high growth potential and put us ahead as an advantageous earlier mover in the legal CBD and cannabis markets in Europe. With an expected growth of 400% over the next years to a potential of over 13 billion euro by 2025, this is a great opportunity we're taking advantage of. Why should you invest in us? We strive to execute on our accretive acquisition strategy and focus on our cash flow positive business model. We will only acquire companies that increase our global footprint, have cost saving and synergies, and seek to bring growth to our bottom and top lines. The value of our company, stock share price, and our shareholders are most important to us. And we will use our available resources in such a way as to maximize share value. We think this time is critical for us as we make to push to uplist to senior markets at the OTC following our US audit completion. There are challenges as we have grown at such a rapid pace and combined several corporate entities. So we have been working hard to continuously improve transparency for the investment community at large and CBD shareholders. The near-term completion of the US audit and open and transparent communication with the market are key concern for us, and we expect completion will strengthen investor confidence in our stock. We trade at a very attractive price to sales ratio for the publicly traded cannabis space. Run a very lean company geared towards profitability, and expect our audit to help us realize our potential for the higher price to sales ratios that some of our senior listed competitors already have experienced. So we hope you trust in our company, in us today, and join us for a long-term vision to become part of the CBD story we plan to make to something special. Our stated goal is to be one of the leading CBD and cannabis companies in Europe, and we strive to be a potential leader of the CBD and cannabis public companies globally one day. I would like now open the floor to the audience and happy to answer some of your questions.
Thank you, Marcel. We do have some questions for you. So what is your target criteria when looking to acquire a business?
For the most important thing is for us that is really, let's say, completing our current portfolio we have. This is depending on, let's say, going into new market areas, product lines, or also, let's say, geographical expansion of our footprint here, mainly here in Europe.
And can you give us an update on your status of becoming audited and any potential uplisting?
Yes, let's say, as I already mentioned earlier, we are hard working on this. We gave an update about 2 weeks ago. We are in continuous communication with the US auditor, which is Frucci Partners, and let's say hard working on that. We have a stated goal. I don't want to share it again with the public because otherwise, they nail us again on this goal. But we expect to have it closed soon.
Well, someone is giving you a compliment by saying they're loving the professional direction CBDD is headed in. They would like for you to elaborate on the M&A progress and talk a little bit more about the audit timeline.
Yes. Let's talk about the M&A process first. As already mentioned, we are let's say we have identified about 12 to 15 targets here in Switzerland and Europe, which could be a potential add-on for our company and for our group. Currently, are 2 of these targets under deeper evaluation. We are already in the due diligence process with 2 of them and have, let's say, closer or further negotiations on the process to implementing them. But as soon as this can be officially announced, we will do it. We expect to be able at least 1 acquisition to be announced in the coming weeks.
Perfect. Congratulations on your revenue growth. What can we expect as far as growth rate for the remainder of 2021 and throughout 2022?
So 2022 is, let's say, it's a hard target as we have been already rapidly growing over the last 12 months. So expected was 2020 by, let's say, 22 million by 2021. Given the current situation and the progress we are making, we have some revised goal to achieve 30 by 2021. For 2022, this is depending on some of the acquisitions we are making, but we plan, let's say that's our target, that we can at least increase our revenues by 20 to 30% year over year.
So your fully diluted shares are over 15 billion on top of the current outstanding. Are you raising funds with this dilution, and will it be maxed out, or do you plan to slow it down?
So we are currently in negotiation with some potential investors. And of course, equity is always a topic there. But before we have, let's say, defined some clear guideline, or let's say clear guidance and how to say that? I'm looking for the word in English. so we have clear. No, before we have, let's say, finalized the conditions with these investors, we cannot say anything about this. But at the end of the day, it's most important for us really to always generate value for our shareholders, for our existing shareholders, which believed in our company in the past and hopefully are believing in us also in the future, which, let's say, that we really generate value for them, what they already have invested, and not, let's say, they're not losing money on their investments. This is the most important thing for us. And we always
talk a little bit more about your prospective growth into US and the Canadian markets.
So as I already mentioned earlier, the Swiss and the European market is our main focus. As we see huge potential here, 400% growth is expected for the coming years. 13 billion, let's say, market potential for only CBD business. Cannabis not included in these numbers, so it's almost double this size. And we are currently focusing on this market. We have some ideas and plans for the US market, bringing over some, let's say, Swiss-based products. But as soon as this is in a stage that we can officially communicate and make a statement about that, we will go to the public with that then.
What is your percentage of business in the US versus Europe? And where else do you plan on expanding?
So the business in the US is, as of today, it's about 5%. So our main business is in Europe. And let's say, given the potential we have in Europe, we're not looking at further markets as of today. But for sure, Asian and other markets are, and also Latin markets are very interesting for us. But as far as we have not, let's say, used all the potential on the European market, we are not, let's say, focusing on others. We really want to focus on this and do this continue to do it so well as we have done in the past.
Talk a little bit more about your audit. Is your audit GAAP or IFRS?
It's GAAP according to the US guidelines.
And talk a little bit more about your cash on hand. As you develop more cash, will you be buying back shares to avoid the need for a reverse split?
I cannot make a statement about this so far.
Can you talk about any acquisitions with cash, stock, or both?
It's always a mix.
It's always a mix. Well, talk a little bit about the future, the next 12 to 24 months. What are some highlights we can look forward to?
So as already mentioned earlier this week, or let's say last week, we just opened a new presence in Poland. We are continuously looking on the European market to have some kind of presence, sales presence, and company presence in other countries here in Europe. We also further developing our product portfolio in different areas. We have a very strong, let's say, very strong forward negotiations with distribution channels. We are opening here in Europe for further increase our distributions all over Europe in different areas. So yeah, I think this is very important for us. And short-term really target for us is really to close this audit, because this gives us a lot of other opportunities, and also for a potential uplisting of the company, and making further progress also towards the investment audience and shareholders.
Marcel, are you cash flow positive currently?
Yes, we are.
Okay, fantastic. Well, do you have any final words?
Yes, let's say it's always a great pleasure talking to communities like this. I like this, even if sometimes I not can say so much as most of the people are expecting from me. But yeah, always happy to come back. We encourage our shareholders, investors, or potential future investors to get in direct contact with me. You can always write me an email. I mostly try to answer some of them personally. Not always possible, but I try to do it because I think these people trusting in us, trusting in our progress, trusting in our success we have made now and in our future, they are important for us. And we are trying to take care about them as much as possible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time. Great presentation. And we look forward to your updates, Marcel. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. And it was a great pleasure for me too.
Wonderful. All right, everyone. We have some more presenters coming up. We're going to take a 5-minute break, but stay with us because we'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thank you for watching.